Welcome to our podcast on mastering basic English conversations. Let's start with the building block of all communication, introducing yourself. Alex, why do you think this is such an important first step?
Great question. Introducing yourself not only breaks the ice, but it also sets the tone for any interaction. Saying, "Hello, my name is Alex" is simple, but it opens the door to further conversation and shows respect for the other person.
Absolutely. And for English learners, practicing this phrase builds confidence. Could you walk us through the correct pronunciation and rhythm, especially for beginners?
Certainly. Start slow. "Hello, my name is Alex." Pause to let each word sink in. This helps with both pronunciation and comprehension, making the introduction clear and friendly.
Once you've introduced yourself, it's natural to ask for the other person's name. How do you recommend learners approach this politely, Alex?
A friendly way is to say, "What is your name?" Remember to keep your tone warm. It invites the other person to share, making the conversation balanced rather than one-sided.
That makes sense. And if someone struggles to understand, repeating slowly can help. Have you noticed any cultural nuances when exchanging names in English-speaking countries?
Yes, in many English-speaking places, people often shake hands or smile while exchanging names. It's also common to add, "Nice to meet you," to make the interaction more personable.
Transitioning from learning to speaking, repetition is key. Alex, why is practicing "hello, my name is" allowed so effective for language learners?
When you repeat phrases, you train your mouth and brain to work together. It's similar to muscle memory in sports. The more you say it, the more natural it becomes. Plus, it reduces anxiety in real-life situations.
So, would practicing in front of a mirror or recording oneself be helpful strategies?
Absolutely. Seeing yourself speak or listening to your own voice can highlight areas for improvement and boost self-assurance. Many language experts recommend this technique for beginners.
Let's move to the next essential topic, telling others where you're from. Alex, what's the best way to say this clearly in English?
The most straightforward way is, "I am from Bangladesh," or "I come from India." Both are correct, but "I am from" is a bit more common in casual conversations.
Interesting. Are there any common mistakes learners make with this phrase?
Often, learners forget the preposition "from" or use direct translation from their language, which can sound awkward. Practicing the whole phrase helps maintain fluency and accuracy.
Sharing your country can also lead to cultural exchanges. How can learners use this opportunity to build connections with others, Alex?
Mentioning your country often prompts follow-up questions like, "What's it like there?" or "Tell me about your food." It's a great way to practice more English and learn about each other's backgrounds.
That's a great point. Do you have any examples of how this can deepen a conversation?
Certainly. If someone says, "I am from Bangladesh," you might reply, "I've heard about the Sundarbans. Have you been there?" This keeps the interaction lively and informative.
Let's shift to another key topic, talking about your job or occupation. Alex, why is "I am a student" or "I work in a shop" an important phrase for learners?
Describing your job helps others understand you better. For example, saying "I am a teacher" might lead to questions about your subject or school. It personalizes your introduction and signals your interests.
Can you clarify the difference between using "I am a" and "I work in" for our listeners?
IMA is for specific professions like doctor or student. "I work in" is used for places or sectors such as "I work in a shop" or "I work in healthcare." This distinction helps you sound more natural.
Let's explore a hypothetical scenario. Imagine two learners. One says, "I am a student," and another says, "I am a teacher." How might their conversations continue, Alex?
Great scenario. The student might be asked, "What do you study?" The teacher could be asked, "What subject do you teach?" These questions encourage longer conversations and use of new vocabulary.
Are there statistics on how quickly learners expand their vocabulary through such exchanges?
Yes, studies show that practical, real-life practice increases vocabulary retention by up to 60% compared to rote memorization. Engaging in these exchanges accelerates learning and confidence.
Now, let's dive into hobbies. Why is saying "I like to read books" or "I love cooking" so effective for language practice, Alex?
Talking about hobbies adds depth to your self-introduction. It shows personality and opens doors to shared interests, making conversations more engaging. Plus, it introduces action verbs like read, play, and cook.
Can discussing hobbies help learners connect with native speakers?
Absolutely. Shared hobbies are an instant bridge. If you both like football, for example, you can talk about teams, matches, or favorite players, which keeps the conversation flowing.
After introductions, small talk helps conversations flow. How should learners approach phrases like, "How are you?" and "I'm good, thank you"?
These phrases are essential for polite, friendly interactions. They show interest in the other person and are used in almost every English conversation. Practicing them helps learners sound natural and approachable.
Do you recommend any particular strategies to practice small talk?
Role-playing is highly effective. Practicing with a partner or even by yourself prepares you for real-world situations. It's like rehearsing lines in a play. The more you practice, the smoother it gets.
As we wrap up, let's talk about combining all these elements. Alex, how can learners practice a full self-introduction at home?
A great method is to use a template. Hi, my name is I am from. I am a. I like to fill in your own details and repeat it daily. This holistic approach cements vocabulary and structure.
Are there any tools or resources you recommend for further practice outside of lessons?
Language learning apps, recording yourself, or joining online conversation groups can reinforce these skills. Consistent practice, even just 5 minutes a day, makes a significant difference.
Before we finish, let's encourage our listeners. Alex, what advice would you give to those feeling nervous about speaking English?
Remember, making mistakes is part of learning. Each attempt brings you closer to fluency. Celebrate small wins like introducing yourself or asking simple questions. Progress takes patience and practice.
Thank you, Alex. And to our listeners, keep practicing, don't give up, and join us tomorrow for another English lesson. Together, we'll keep building your confidence step by step.
Thank you, everyone, and goodbye. Keep speaking and learning. Your efforts will pay off.